What they're saying is just what was said at this meeting is that just from sheer scientific data alone, just that alone, and that's from data they're compiling and putting together, they are expecting an escalation in natural disasters like nothing recorded in history.
Huge tsunami warning issued for the entire west coast of the United States, Canada, and now a tsunami watch for all of the Hawaiian Islands. This was an 8.2 magnitude quake.
¿Viste? Dove? Quante prima che regala? Va. Porco Dio! Porco Madonna, non ho Questa è ammazzata la gente, ragazzi. Oh, questa è ammazzata la gente. Questa è ammazzata la gente. Questa è ammazzata la gente. Porca troia. Una montagna. Guarda il vettore. Guarda il vettore, oh! Porca puttana! Ammazzata la gente questo. Porca puttana un vettore.
Unhooked during a massive earthquake in Mexico. Now, this comes just months after a pair of deadly quakes rocked that region.
Emergency warning systems activated in Mexico City. A 7.2 magnitude earthquake striking in the state of Oaxaca. Tremors felt as far away as Guatemala.
Aquí está.
As buildings swayed, thousands of people ran into the streets.
What are they doing?
I don't know.
Oh man, they're going crazy. It's like a swarm.
What they're saying is large earthquake swarms are gonna become the new normal. So where we normally would have 3.5s, 4.0s, this and that and the other, you're gonna have swarms. Where we'd normally have swarms of 2.5s, 3.0s, this, that, and the other in a certain area, it may uptick to 6.5s, 7.5s, 7.0s, this, that, and the other. And those, I mean, and that could trigger a megaquake. But that's what was put out. And again, with the geologists and the seismologists and the other independent scientists that were there, these people are so confused right now. And they're reporting things that they don't even understand. They're reporting large changes, like changes that are happening so fast. See, in a geology sense and in seismology, things happen over a great period of time. And that's where they're very, very concerned at this point in time, because all these changes are happening very rapidly. One of the global concerns they were talking about is that they're very, very shaky about, there's 38 volcanoes that are active and erupting at this time across this planet.
Another moderate earthquake and eruption shaken the summit near Kilauea. That 5.4 magnitude quake happened at about 3:40 this morning. Again, no tsunami was generated, but more ash was let into the air, adding to building concerns over fog.
It's hard to say whether this lava flow will eventually cut off in a matter of weeks or if this becomes a new lava field for the indefinite future.
We are tracking an emergency situation on Hawaii's Big Island. Not only is the Kilauea volcano erupting, just a few hours ago, the island was rocked by a powerful magnitude 6.9 earthquake. It's just the latest in a series of earthquakes this week, hundreds of them. This one is the biggest yet, the biggest to shake the island since 1975. Lava still spewing from cracks in the road. This is almost a full day after the volcano started erupting.
It began with a tremble, and then it hit. You're watching a bald eagle nest at the Channel Islands National Park experience Thursday's magnitude 5.3 earthquake, leaving these chicks a little shaken up. On the ground in the city of Ventura, the shaking sent people at a liquor store running out the door looking for cover. While off the coast, dust rolled off the cliffs of Santa Cruz Island due to small landslides just miles away from the epicenter of the quake, the area's strongest since 2014.
We're going to start with breaking news, an earthquake that has struck in the Inland Empire.
The USGS says it's a 4.5 magnitude quake that hit just before 5. This is how it looked on our CBS 2 seismograph. It was first reported as a 4.6, but a few minutes later downgraded to that 4.5. People have been calling into the newsroom saying they woke up to a quick jolt all the way from Moreno Valley to Newport Beach and, of course, here in LA County. The quake was followed up by a few aftershocks, and the biggest one of those was also recorded on our seismograph. It was a 3.2. It hit just 2 minutes after the main quake.
Now, with that being said, that covers a lot of avenues as far as natural disasters and such. So I'll talk about some things that they're very concerned about. And this is FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency. They are very concerned at this point in time about losing critical infrastructure, certain parts. You know, as far as water, you know, the municipalities of the water system. You know, that's going to be a very serious problem coming up pretty soon.
Is California falling into a 2018 drought? And what does no significant rain over the winter thus far mean for farming? Will there be water to farm? And is it time to be concerned? Weather and water continue to be a hot, divisive topic, and these are a lot of questions we're all asking.
Millions are facing water shortages.
This is rather unusual, because under normal circumstances, I would be waist height in water here. This reservoir has completely dried up, and it just goes to show how severe the drought is.
The prospects of rainfall look promising, but the ever-changing weather patterns brought by climate change could still affect the country's food security.
Scientists say due to Earth's rotation slowing down, the planet can expect to experience up to 20 magnitude 7 earthquakes or higher in 2018. Researchers at the University of Colorado Boulder and the University of Montana recently published their study in the journal Geophysical Research Letters. They tracked severe earthquakes reaching back to 1900 and found many years averaged 15 earthquakes, while others averaged more than 25. These major earthquakes line up with years in which the Earth's rotation slowed down. The last time the Earth's rotation slowed was in 2011 in a 9.1 earthquake in Japan. Time magazine reports the study predicts earthquakes are more likely to occur near the equator because that's where the world's spin is strongest. Around 1 billion people living near the equator could be affected.
Another thing that they're very concerned about is about water weight. But any time that there's a large body of water that's formed, so to say, from rain, from flooding, from this, that, and the other, anytime there's a large body of water formed, the ground underneath, experiences changes, and it's due to what you would consider like a stress load because water is so heavy.
Now to all that rain and flooding that just won't let up this morning. Frederick, Maryland, one of the many spots on the East Coast underwater.
You can see the floodwaters streaming down this river. Already 9 to 10 inches here in Frederick. More's coming. Could be a foot of rain by the time this is over. The flood alert stands for another 24 hours. Firefighters been very busy. Nearly 500 calls, more than 100 of them rescues. A lot of folks stranded in their cars when they got caught in all this rain and water, and it is coming your way.
Another thing that was mentioned there, which I don't have a lot of detail on this, but they're saying that scientists are very concerned and worried about the weight on all the coastlines. And I'm not sure if that's just national But if it's national, it'd have to be global, if you think about it. But they're saying that they're very, very concerned. They're also, they're preparing. This really blew me away. You know, it really took me away, because I started thinking about a lot of things that we've seen over this year and last year. But they're preparing on a large scale for major separation of landmass. And like the evacuations and migrations of people that are going to come with all that.
They're FEMA camps. Cameras all over the facility, 6-foot, 10-foot gates. All unmarked white vans. And that is it. So all of you guys that doubt FEMA camps and everything that's happening in the U.S., there you have it.
Scientists, for the most part, agree that the continent is splitting in two, but there is debate over exactly how this most recent fracture was revealed.
It's quite phenomenal, really, Vlad. I mean, it's about 50 feet deep and 60 feet wide. I mean, imagine something like that just suddenly appearing. Although geologists in part are saying that actually it was there all along, just hidden away from the world, and that because of some heavy downpour in recent weeks in Kenya, it cleared away what essentially was volcanic ash, which is a lot softer than normal rock, and that is how it came to be revealed.
A giant sinkhole the length of 2 football fields and the depth of a 6-story building has opened up on a farm in New Zealand's Bay of Plenty, with volcanologist Bradley Scott calling it pretty spectacular.
What I see in the bottom of the hole is the original 60,000-year-old volcanic deposit that came out of this crater.
From the drone footage that is a large landslide, that a big area has started to move, and the concerns are how far will it go and when might it do that. There's a high probability that the slide will keep moving. This is a big slide, it started to move, it's been accelerating since October. Odds are it'll continue to move slowly, but you never know sort of how far a slide like that may travel.
Now, something else they're looking at, and we already know that this is on the chain here, is unpredictable and unusual weather patterns. Well, what it's doing is, and this is what they were talking about in the meeting, as far as, you know, there was scientists, there were seismologists, these were independent scientists, as far as also state, local, everything. And, you know, seismologists, geologists, they had all these people at this meeting. And they were briefing them after this large earthquake over in Ecuador and the other ones in Japan. You know, because these people had come to them before with a lot of this information that they don't even understand. And they kind of brushed them off. Well, now they got all called into a high-level briefing on a Saturday morning. What they're talking about is these unpredictable and just the unusual weather patterns that we're seeing. They're causing what they're calling a major strain on the fault lines. So that's what's happening with a lot of your earthquake swarms that are occurring right now.